What is going on, lunatics? I hope that you're embracing the lunacy that's happening right now. I think some of you are probably wondering why the price action hasn't been moving up, even though we've got this nice little parallel channel, and the market seems to be having not a huge moment, but a little bit of a moment. So, why is that not translating over to Luna Classic? Well, I think I have the answer. I think I've got this explained. And if you'll stick with me for just a little while, then we will all know and we'll all be better for it. This is not financial advice, but I'm always right.
Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid.
All right, guys, let's talk about this. First things first, though, if you would please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment down below before we're finished over here so that this helps this trend. I'm doing this in the evening, trying to capture that overnight market, and I would appreciate everybody's help in that regard. Also, in the description down below is a link to MEXC Global. If you would sign up with them using my information, I sure would appreciate that. Not even sure if there's a reward for it for me, but we'll find out. But let's talk about where we are now. There's three important things that you should be thinking about right now. This is the 1 hour chart, okay, and this is what we normally look at. Of course, this is kind of where we are, right? And what we're looking at is, why is this so faithful to this line? Why has this thing been just so faithful in that channel? Well, you can see right here that we are just testing this line the entire time. But not only that, we tested this down here at the bottom too. And what are we using for support? Not only are we using the bottom and the top line, but there's a heart line right down the middle right here. What are we doing? We're testing that every single time. You can see it up here. You can see it up here. You can see that these things are getting tested constantly. So what is really going on? Well, I think that we should point out that all of this right here happened before. And what happens when that does play out, which we kind of saw right here, right? We got this big green candle matching this big green candle, and then we got a little bit of this sideways chop sort of action. Now we're getting it consolidating into a tighter and tighter pattern because the volume is slowing. The volume is slowing. That doesn't mean anything bad, by the way. It just means that the volume is slowing a little bit. We've gone from about 800 million in volume to about 740 million in volume in the last 24 hours. So volume is a little bit down, but we're doing this, right? What's that mean? Well, what it likely means is that if you are playing it on a day trade, you're probably looking at some downside here, and you're probably looking at some accumulation right about here in the 25 range. Most probably, you're going to be able to get it down to right here. And we're going to look at a few of the different charts, and we're going to get we're going to get some ideas of what's going on. We're going to look at really the same pattern is playing itself over and over and over and over again. And then when we look at the market cipher, then we see, it's just kind of tired, right? Right here, we're just kind of tired. We're not overbought. We're not oversold. We're just kind of trending a little bit sideways. Now, is that a problem? No, it's not a problem at all. This is just the normal nature of how the markets move, and the market is just currently moving in this kind of fashion, right? So what does it all mean? Well, so we start to answer that by coming up here and look at the DXY. DXY has made a big move to the downside. What do we keep saying about the downside move on the DXY? DXY also causes the Luna Classic to have some downside move. Now, it did not have serious downside move like the DXY, and you can see the difference right here, right? But what it did do is it tightened up this channel and it chilled everybody out a little bit. Same time, what happened? Ethereum started to pump, Bitcoin started to pump. So here's what's going on. It's time for the market. It's time for the market to make a little bit of a move, right? And you can see over here, volumes down here at 737. What that means is basically this. It means that we're about to experience a dip, okay? The market has become soft on Luna Classic for today, okay? Everything else, as you look down here, for the most part, is in the green, right? Except some, this is the dominance numbers over here. And then these are some weird altcoins that I invest in or that I watch or pay attention to, right? So Generally speaking, we are in this spot and we're probably going to see some downside. So the accumulation portion, if I were look, if I were day trading right now and I had to make a bet, I would bet right now, right here, times sell, right? I would bet that we're gonna have some downside here. We're gonna have some of this chop again. We're gonna see this thing happen probably right over here, and we'll probably extend this out just a little bit, maybe even extend it down to this line, right? Then that's when we're gonna start to get the bump. Now, when you see this, you look over here, and when is that bump happening? Well, it's happening on September 30th. And what is September 30th? Well, that's when the shorts get wrecked. That's Friday. So, we're looking at a little bit of sideways trading action. We're looking at some opportunity for you to accumulate or to make a few plays. Now, is any of that guaranteed? Obviously not. Let's look at the 15-minute chart. 15-minute chart, you're really looking at the same thing. Very predictable sort of pattern. You had a bunch of this up here, then you had a bunch of this down here, and you got a bunch of this up here. But a bunch of this up here is going to lead to a bunch of this down here. Now, if just for an example, if we continue right here, then we're going to continue to the downside, by the way. So, even if we don't just do an immediate dump down this way, we're still going to move this way and we're going to still have this downside. We're not breaking out of this pennant flag yet. It's not the time. Like, the timing doesn't look right in the market for that to happen. So there's downside to be had right here. And this is opportunity. Why is this opportunity? Well, because October 3rd is when we get the burn from Binance, and we'll know how much we burn. At that point, they'll give us the receipt so that we'll be able to see what goes into the burn wallet. But it's better to get it at 25 than it is to get it at 27. And it's far better to get it down here at 22. So, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at this opportunity to create some more action that's going to spill out over here to the third. This is the day. This is the time right here when it all matters. That's when we're going to see Binance do whatever it is that they do. So right now, whatever's happening over here. And by the way, it is entirely possible as we look over here at the 2 hour, we're not getting any confirmation of anything, by the way. All we're doing at this point is we're getting just that sideways sort of motion, right? So we look at the 2 hour, we don't have a breakout. We don't have anything moving in a positive direction like that. We look at the 4 hour, this is the same thing. Very predictable, very easy. The market, this is what the market did, and then it pumped. This is what the market did, and then it pumped. Now, so we're seeing this kind of play out right here. You can even argue that, this right here probably represents this right here, and that we saw this kind of dip and then this move back up and this dip and this move back up. So we might be looking at this little bit more downside because this really represents about 3 days, 4 days. And that, let's see how many days that actually is. So from where we're looking at right here to here, we're probably right about here. So the 20th to the 26th, that's about 5 days, right? So what are we doing here? 5 days later. If we're doing this 5 days later, and guys, I'm not saying this is the pattern that's going to play out. This is what it looks like, right? So if this plays out the way it looks like, then that's what we're going to see right there, right? So if that's what we see, then it is entirely possible that we get down here and we get this. Now, the problem with that, and with me saying that, is even though that looks like the way it could go, there's a lot of support. And you can see right here, there's a lot of bounce around the 1800 level and the 1900 level. So I don't think that we're going to see that happen. But, even when you get to the daily charts, even when you get to any one of these, you see the same thing kind of playing out with that downside momentum. And none of this is going to matter until we really get the feeling from that first big Binance burn. That's when we're going to see it, because we come over here, and here's one of the other problems that you're running into. And I wanted you guys to see this because this is incredibly important. If you go back here and you look at, we're going to call it August, right? In August, we had 6.57 trillion circulating supply. Today, we have 6.59 trillion. So we've added 20 billion into the circulating supply in a continued run up. And what's going on here is all of the supply that's on the sidelines is continuing to be put into the circulating supply. And when we come over here, we can see right here, it's 6.9 trillion. And we do have 6.5. This circulating supply is not an accurate number here. It's not verified data. It's actually incorrect. It's 6.595. This data over here on this dashboard is correct, right? And we continue to mint new circulating supply off of the total supply. And until we get that total supply down below this number, then we're going to continue to see more circulating supply getting thrown in the mix. So that's going to take a little bit of time. Like, we're going to have some of that burn. KuCoin, it'll be nice if they get aboard. Crypto.com is doing the same thing that Binance was starting to do, and that was just deposits and withdrawals. So we don't know where any of these land at. When we look at the top burners, we're not really seeing any action on it. So, we can't really make a determination at this point about what those deposits and withdrawals are going to do. So we're gonna need some more data. We're gonna need a little bit more time. And I know that some of you guys are rushed. Some of you guys are feeling like, well, what's going on? I need to be stimulated with this. And there's really no easy answer for it at this point. There's really just, we're looking at it. This is the data. This is what we're seeing, and it looks accurate. So the best thing that you could do, the very best thing that you could do right now is, if this is in your better interest, this is where you make your decision. Okay. I'm predicting that it's going to go down, and I'm predicting that we are going to be taking from here down to here, and we're going to be finding these levels, and we're going to see which one becomes our support line. Now, you see here, there was a fight over here on this green line. There was a fight over here on this green line. Then it cascaded down and ended up hitting this line, and then moved back up and became support. So these are really solid lines. You see this happen again, hit that bottom, and then it came back up. And then you see that's when we broke down. That's when we hit the 18s. And that's when you got this massive move, right? So if things are playing out the same way again, then that's exactly what you can expect to see happen. You can expect to see it right in this area, right about here. And then you can see some bounce off of that. Now, if people are not happy with that burn, or if the market tries to just turn sour in the DXY, maybe we get some Bitcoin pump, maybe we get some Ethereum pump. And if that happens, then you can expect this downside to be happening down here. You might even see 1800 again. Now, if we end up seeing 1800 at the same time that we get that little downward motion from Binance, if Binance buys in during that little downward motion down here, then we're gonna be burning a lot more supply than what we're going to be burning up in this level. So keep that in mind. And remember, this is a long-term play. This is not a short-term solution. Now, if you're day trading or if you're swing trading, you're going to take wins, you're going to take losses. One of the things that you've noticed here is that it's been pretty predictable, right? This looks like, and you can almost kind of see it right here. This whole thing right here looks like this whole thing right here. These whole things right here looks like this right here. Like, it's a very predictable sort of thing, and you're seeing it play out. And it's not always what you want to see, but it does seem like it's kind of a wave pattern, right? Maybe we're going to see that wave pattern happen again. I don't know if we're going to see it to the upside, but I think that when you kind of, pull out here and you look at it, then the one thing to consider is this is where we are, and this is where we're finding our bounce. So if that's the case, and that's where we're finding the bounce, then it's logical to think that, and there's more that this is a lot more chop going this way, but it's very logical to think that maybe we hit around 2021. Maybe this becomes our bounce level, because we do have just a little bit. You can see a little crack right here, a little bit of support right in that area. So maybe this is kind of the level, and it creates that bounce, and it gets us moving back forward, right? I know that if you're a purist and you want to see that big burn, we might not see it, but we can also see some of this good downside. But again, let me know what you think in the comments. I know this video is a little bit long, but I want you guys to see what I'm seeing. I want you guys to kind of get an idea on the sentiment that I'm doing, because I am doing this every day, trying to figure out the best way to explain this to you guys so that you can have some sort of assurance. And my preference here is always to look at the 1 hour chart, because I think that's the best indicator. But if I want confirmation, I'm going to look at the half-hour charts. I'm going to look at the 4 hour. When I look at the 4 hour, if I want to see a breakout on this channel right now, then we're wanting to see 8 hours worth of candles breaking out to the upside here. That's when we'll know that we have a breakout. Now, the problem with that is when we're doing this and we're channeling down here, that one candle, the way this moves, might just do this. So you might miss out on it. So that's why I'm saying, like, be very careful, be very aware of what the market is doing, the way that these markets are going, and pay attention to this. And remember, the volume is still there, the market cap is still there, the sentiment has never changed. The only thing happening right now is that everybody is taking a deep breath and they're going, home, and we're just waiting patiently to see what happens with Binance. And when we know what goes on with Binance, then we are going to know exactly what's going on with the rest of the market. But again, hit the subscribe button, please. Leave a like on this, leave a comment on this, hit the bell to be notified of new content. I'm going to make 1 or 2 videos every day on Terra Luna. 8 a.m. in the morning, we're going to do breakfast with Bleaves. 8 in the evening, we're going to do bedtime with Bleaves. And you guys are going to be as informed as I can make you for as long as I can make you. And if there's interest and there's continued interest in this, then that's what we're going to do. And we're also going to talk every once in a while about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all of the others so that you guys can make the best possible decisions. Because the way I consider it is this: if you listen to me and you do what I do and I get rich, you get rich too. So this is not financial advice. My name is Bleaves. I am always right, even though I'm not really. And we will see you guys again very soon.
I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid.